You know me so well. I am running late and I did hit the button. but, but thank you for your love. You guys are so awesome. I love you so much. Welcome to Miss C's Cottage. I am Miss C and I am what I am, and that's all what I am, and that's what you get to see today. This is the cottage, the home of the Sun Bunny, and filled with love that has big ears and can listen to all of your joys and sorrows, and has no mouth with which to share any of your secrets. So um, I hope you enjoy your time here at the cottage. Come in, leave your shoes at the door, grab something cold or hot to drink, pick out a chair that looks comfortable, sit back and relax and enjoy the next hour. Today we have planned to finish our glass cozy that we started last week. This is one that my mother made, and she used a number 10 crochet cotton, the thread. I can still do this, but it's very taxing. It's very hard on my hands and very hard on my eyes. I can still work with the thread, and I have made several things out of thread lately, but it's just I prefer not to use the thread if I can get by with it. So this glass cozy I made this week, and it is for a mason jar. It fits a mason jar. A lot of times in the South, if you go to a restaurant, they'll serve you sweet tea or water in a mason jar. And it's always sweaty and wet, and I like to have a glass cozy on my glass. So um, I did this one to show you what it's like. This is one we made last week, and I went ahead and put the decorative trellis on it so that you can see. You notice I didn't come down as far on this one as I did on the rest. And I don't know why. I just missed it by one, but that makes it unique and mine. So today, last Wednesday, your homework was to make a set of these 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever you wanted. And today we're going to put the decoration on it. So let's see who's here. Yeah, it's an heirloom, Dee. And Manuela is here, and Kim. Kim, I don't think I got your I didn't get your gift mailed yesterday, but I did send tracking numbers to those who's I did send to. And Sam is here. I'm so glad you're okay today, Sam, enough to meet with us today. And there's my friend Rudy. Welcome, Rudy. And Leanie is here. And Marlene Young is here. Hello, hello, sweetheart. And Sally Stevens is here. I'm glad you're here. Still working on the Roddies? Yeah, that black yarn makes it a little tough. Oh, good, Leanie. A knitted sweater. So you knit and crochet. That's good to know. No, Sally, I had to take a break, and I just got back. Okay, let's go back to the bottom. See who came in whilst I was going up to the top. pretty, aren't they, Sally? I think they're pretty. And Sally, you're right. You could put a candle in there and it would be very, very pretty. Just imagine if this were in white and with red and your candle on the inside would be very pretty for Christmas. And Jacqueline Marley's here with Irish hugs. Love that girl. And KK is here. I love you, Kim. Gonna be working and lurking. And there's Mia. All right. And there's my favorite pea in the whole world. And Gracie Canales. Pebbles, I cleaned off my desktop today and I found an extra leg and an extra head, so I dumped them in the bucket. And there's Carrie, jet one in. Hello, Carrie. I'm glad to see you're here today. And I probably won't send the guys anything for a while because you said that Russ had sent them a generous amount. So I'll wait until they run through some of that. And then closer to Christmas, I'll be gathering a box. I'll send it closer to Christmas if that's okay. I love it when you guys come in, leave your shoes at the door, come in, get something to drink, pick a chair, and get comfortable because today we're going to put the accent color on this cozy. And I've chosen this Moya yarn called Karina. This is a 50% bamboo, 50% cotton blend, and it's shiny. It's made in South Africa by Moya Yarn Company. It's hand dyed. It says Moya yarns are hand dyed and should be machine washed and spinned, not spun, unspinned on normal cycle before any blocking, as there may be a slight residual something is underneath the label. Maybe the color, a slight residual color. So you should wash it first, but I didn't. And so this whole thing may come out pink later. I don't know. But dry flat. Because it's cotton and bamboo, I would imagine they think it probably would shrink. So, without further ado, oh, you got a new aid? There's Ellie. Hello, Ellie. Ellie, I don't know if you gave me an answer or if I just didn't see it, but did I give you the dice beads that had the numbers and letters on them? And I'm going to stand here and wait until I get an answer because I need to know. I love it when you all know each other so well from this channel and from other channels that you just reach out and say hello with a genuine love and interest. Okay, Ellie, did you get the beads that I sent you a long time ago? I think I sent them a long time ago with numbers and letters on them for stitch markers so that you could put like you're using hook number 4.5 millimeter, which is a 7. I don't know if you got those. I don't know if I sent them. Crafting Adventures with Amy. Welcome to the cottage, Amy. Manuela, they just slip into your heart, don't they? Well, you're not even looking. You get to know them from week to week and what they're working on and if they've been ill or, the way they do things and their likes and dislikes, their colors, and you do get to love them all. Okay, so I may not get an answer from Ellie. Okay. Okay, you did. All right, I'll stop looking for them because I've torn some things apart looking for them and I couldn't find them. So I hope that I had sent them, but I wasn't sure. So thank you. Ellen. Ellen had a jolly month in the month of August. And I want to tell you that I went to my local, no, my local Not a Dollar Tree did not have any of the new yarn. And I went to, we went to Gainesville for lunch yesterday. And on the way home, there's a new Dollar Tree in Alachua. So I asked Mr. Elmo if he would be so gracious as to stop at the newer one. And I think it's a little bit bigger than my local Not a Dollar store. And they did have the yarn. And I did pick up, they only had 2 colors, but I got one of each. I got the pumpkin and I got a cream. It's called cream. And they're not as soft as a regular yarn, but they're not a red heart. Even though they say red heart on them, they're not that crunchy red heart. Carrie, I don't go to Michael's. I've never really liked Michael's. Every time I go there, they don't have yarn that I like, and they don't have prices that I like, and sometimes they don't even have yarn. So I think until they get this new setup going, maybe the first of the year, I'll stop back in at a Michael's. But I never bought the anniversary cake. It was way too expensive for me. And I didn't buy any of the anniversary cake slices that Karen put out because that's above my price range. This $5 for 800 yards is more in my price range. 800 yards. There is 867. 867. Hi, beauty girl. 867 yards. What do you want? What do you want? And it takes about two, I'll say 220. I maybe can get 4 bunnies out of this. So 4 bunnies for $5, I think, is a pretty good price. Yeah, it is, Ellen. It is soft yarn for a red heart. I thought it was a good deal. Whether I make a blanket out of it, if I combine this one with the cream, I can make 2 baby blankets out of it. It's 867 yards. So I thought it was a good deal. They only had the 2 colors. Now I understand it comes in 5 or 6 colors maybe, and they're very, very different than the color crayon colors that Premier put out for their $5 balls last year. And so I watched someone this morning who said that She talked to her store, and they said that they had to have them out by September 3rd. So if your store hasn't had them yet, you might want to go back and check them this week. The other color is a pea green. Carrie, this was at the not a Dollar Tree, which is what Ellen calls it because it's not a dollar anymore. At the Dollar Tree. Hello, Mama Swift. I don't know about you whether you need yarn, but look what I got at the what Ellen calls the not a Dollar Tree, which is the Dollar Tree store that's not a dollar anymore. I thought that was funny. It's the Red Heart Yarn Inspirations. It's $5 for the ball, and it has 867 yards. 16 ounces. It's like the pound of love. It's a pound of classic. And my local yarn shop didn't, or my local Dollar Tree didn't have it, but the one up in Alachua did, and they only had the two colors. So I got the cream, and I got the pumpkin. I think it's called pumpkin. Don't know if I read the label. The no, it's not. It's papaya. Okay, so I got a papaya and cream for off-white. Blanchard or Husso. 867 yards. That'll make me 3 bunnies and a little left over. Maybe if I put pads on the feet a different color, I can get 4 bunnies out of it. And 4 bunnies for $5 is it's a darn good price. You know, when you make things to give away to charity, even though you're making it from your heart and giving it from your heart, you're still giving it from your pocketbook. So if you can find yarn at a reasonable price, it makes it a whole lot easier to give. Maybe that's not true. Makes it a whole lot. I can't think of the word right now. Anyway, makes it not profitable because you don't give things away for profit. That's not, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, 11:27. Okay, let's get to it then. And there's my sugar. Hello, hello. That's what I'm trying to say, Carrie. Thank you. You can give more. You're able to give even more. You can give almost the amount that your heart wishes you could give all the time if you have yarn at a more reasonable price. You know what? That's true, Ellen, because crocheting is a mental sport. It's a lot of rhythm and a lot of counting, and it's very, very good to keep your mind busy. All right, speaking of getting busy, I want to show you my pussycat while I'm here. This is Maggie. This is Maggie Mao, and Mao is Egyptian for cat. So if you say Mao, an Egyptian will say, "Oh, you have a cat?" Or not. Anyway, she's in my lap today. I gave her Capstar, which is a flea med, and the Capstars, you give it to them. It's a little white tablet, tiny, tiny thing. You just open their mouth and stick it at the back of their tongue, and they swallow it. But it kills all the fleas like within an hour or so. It's very, very good. And she's come down with fleas. I don't know why. Um, She has a cat door in the laundry room and goes outside, so maybe she's got them from there. But she's been scratching and scratching, and I put some flea medicine on her on the first, and it hasn't done anything. So I just gave her a cap star today. We'll see what happens. I'll do it again in 3 days because it normally takes, excuse me, it normally takes 3 days for flea eggs to hatch. So if you kill them all in 3 days, you got a whole new batch. So if I can give her another one in 3 days, then those ones that are hatching are not old enough to lay eggs yet. We should be okay. And that's that. So let's go to the other camera. And creative, beautiful stuff. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. And there's Barbara. Hello, Barbara. Yes, yes. You get back in love what you give away. And I don't think you can outgive. I mean, I know we have only so many resources, but when you give, you get back so much. What the Bible says, packed into a bushel and pushed down and heaped up and overflowing. It's really, really true. You get far more by giving than you do by keeping. All right, I'm going to settings, and we're going to go to camera, and we're going to go to the smart cam, and there we are. We're going to smart cam in, and I'm going to take my Moya yarn from South Africa. I like this yarn. And I'm going to make a slip knot. You make your slip knot any way you make your slip knot, okay? I don't have a magic way to make a slip knot. And I am going to start down here at the bottom where you won't be able to see it. And I'm going to start on, remember we did the shells and then the columns. I'm going to start down here on the column. And I'm going to start, let me see what I did here. We went up the first row. We didn't do the first row. We did two. Nope, we didn't do the first row. We did the second row. So let's go up here. We'll start here on the second row. Here's the first row. We'll start on the second row. And I'm just going to go in here right in the middle of this stitch and do my first single crochet. These are all single crochets and very, very simple to do. If you can get your yarn to work. Okay, now I'm going to fold this so that I can see the bottom here. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to come over here and do 2 more in the space between the 2 columns. And then I'm going to turn this work, and we're going to go up this outside column. Let me pull some of this out of here. Give us a head start here. So I'm going to fold my work along that column so it's up and I can see it clearly. I'm just going to come in behind that column and put in 3 single crochets. Kind of shaky today, I'm not sure why. And go up to the next double crochet and put in 3 singles along that double crochet column. And I'm going to put 3 single crochets around each of the double crochets in that column all the way up. This yarn, I don't know whether you can see it on camera or not, but it's gotten really dark here. And now it's beginning to lighten back up. This is such a pretty yarn. And with that sparkle in there, I really am enjoying working with it. And this comes in a multitude of colors. And even you can get color palettes that are coordinated for you. What's the yarn that fades? Oh, Karen's just come out with a new one. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at the top of this last column. I'm going to put 2 in here. And then I'm going to do a single crochet in each one of the shells that we did. And we're over to the next set of columns. So I'm just going to turn the corner. I'm going to fold it and put this column up and put 3 single crochets on each one of these columns. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all there is to it. You just continue this all the way around, and you have a beautiful glass cozy for your iced tea for summer, or your Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or whatever you put in your glass, cold. That's going to sweat and leave a ring on your tabletop, which you don't want. So you put this little cozy on there, and it's cotton, and it absorbs it all. And you can throw them right in the washing machine. That's what I like best. And if you want to block them, you just get your glass out, put your glass in there, and block it and let it dry. As you can see, I've done 3 double crochets in each one of the columns all the way up. And you get to the top, and you just go around your shell. All right, I'm going to stop here and read the chat, see what we're doing. There's my Angela, my angel in the frozen stone. Hello, sweetheart. And Lydia's here. Ombre, yes, thank you, Sam. Ombre, where it's lighter and it goes darker, and then I like that effect. It tells me that it is in fact hand dyed, because it's not perfect, and I think things in nature that are not perfect are more beautiful than created perfection. All right, we're going to go. You have to, I did not, but you have to, or should, make sure that you come down this last column till you get to the same level across. So I'm going to come down this last column. with my last 3 single crochets. Then I'm going to come across the bottom of these 3 columns. I'm going to put 2 in here, skip over and put 2 in here, and then I'm outside again. Come across the bottom. We're going to go up this column now. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my cozy to expose that column of double crochets. And we're just going to go in and do 3 double crochets all the way up. 3 single crochets around the double crochet. I hope you're crocheting along with me, because these are really very, very nice to have. And they're also very nice to give as single crochets, Diana. They're very nice to give as gifts. These are, excuse me, 100% cotton. So you could use them for a hot beverage also. I guess I think of them as sweet tea in a mason jug. Being down here in Florida for so long, do you realize that I moved to Florida in 1975? Now, if you count 1975 to 2005, that's 50 years. I've been in Florida 50 years. I can hardly believe that. See, I don't think of myself as being 50. Although when I turned 50, I was in a very good place and I liked who I was. I liked where I was. I liked what I looked like. I liked what I was doing. It was a good time. All right, now we're going to go across the top of this double V stitch. "50 years, my goodness." And we're at the next set of double crochet columns. So I'm going to do a single crochet and fold my cozy along that double crochet column line and do 2 more in the top and 3 in each one down. And you can already begin to see how beautiful this is looking. You need to buy more cotton. You could, yeah. I have a bunny that Panda made for me, and he put a beaded necklace on it that says Miss C's Cottage. I love that boy. Never met him, but I love him because he loves my Michael. And Panda always stops in the cottage, whether he can come on a day that we're open or a day that just I'm here and watches the replay. He always pops in to say hello, abuela. I love that boy. And he's so stinking handsome. Whew. Okay, this is the bottom. So I'm going to open this up and make sure I'm where I need to be. Nope, I need to come down one more. See how deceiving that was? All right, so we'll come down one more column. Mr. Elmo has been in and out this morning several times. I'm not sure what he's doing. Not that it's any of my business, but okay, we're going to do 2 across the bottom, skip between the next 2 columns and do 2 more, and then turn our work again and get to this other side, the 3rd column, and 3 single crochets in each double crochet up that column. Okay, I think I've lost some people, but that's okay. Not everybody's into this kind of stuff. I watched this morning Vintage Crochet, the Vintage Crochet channel, and she was making a mystery pattern. Her son goes through the books, the vintage books, and makes photocopies of patterns that he thinks are interesting. And then he gives them to her, but he has blacked out the name of the pattern and any remarks in the pattern that would give any hint as to what the finished object will be. So it's a mystery to her as well as to us. And then she starts crocheting according to the pattern, and some of them are very interesting. And she's made things like shawls and purses and lace edgings, caplets, lace that you sew on the end of your sleeve. You know how they used to have the long sleeves, and then they would have lace to cover half of your hand. Very, very pretty. Early 1800s, early 1900s, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to put one here and one here. This morning she crocheted lace, and I don't know whether it was for a curtain or it didn't look like a doily to me, but it was a lot of picots, and it was very, very pretty. Of course, she really doesn't know if she's following the pattern because the patterns are not written as well as modern day patterns are. And so a lot of them are written, especially in the early days, the patterns are written with UK terms. So when it says a treble, it really means a double. And if it says a long double, I think that's a double, and they call a double a single, or they call a single a double. I don't know. It gets confusing to me. I don't make any of the things that she makes. Few. I have tried a few of them to crochet along with her, but it's confusing to me. Be real careful when you get down to the bottom because these are close, and you don't want to pick this up because it's the rest of your cluster there. Make sure you go into the column. And we've got one more. Be sure to go down all the way or else you'll have a green one with 5 long columns and 1 short column. Okay, now across the bottom where we've got our 3 columns, we're going to do 2 in between each one of the 3 double crochets. And then we're coming back to a darker spot. And then back up that 3rd column on the other side. That row of double crochets. Catching catnip balls. Suzanne is here. Hello, hello. You keep lurking. You got lots to catch up on, KK. What are you doing, Mags? What are you doing? Huh? No, you can't get up there. I don't really want you up there. I have to move so many things for you to get there, and see, that messes everything up. Mess up my camera just for you, cat. And then she leaves me kitty fur. Somebody this morning was talking about the significance and importance of rollers. You know, those sticky rollers that you roll over your clothes when your cat's been sitting in your lap. Lint rollers, that's what they call them, lint rollers. I'll get it. Okay, one more double crochet here. And we'll go around the corner. Keep forgetting to have my hands out here so that you guys can see them. And here we're back at the column, so I'm going to fold that and start my 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets down that double crochet column. How are we doing for time? We've got 5 minutes left. This is usually our prayer request time. And I'm not nearly finished, so I might finish to the bottom of this one. And we'll go to requests. For those of you who'd like to stick around and either give a prayer request or a praise. I was able to give away some things this week, which made me happy. We went back to the little restaurant in Bell, and our favorite waitress was not there. It was her day off. I guess she had worked the day shift is what it was. And but the head waitress called her, and she did come over to the restaurant and get her bunny, and she was so excited about getting that bunny. I'm going to put 2 in here and 2 in here. And we're at the other side. So I'm going to fold this and come back up. And she was so excited to learn that her bunny was there at the restaurant. I guess she had been swimming. It was a lovely day. And she brought her sister and her boyfriend with her. And she just loved her bunny. Her bunny was Peppermint Patty, if you remember, the sparkly pink bunny with the chocolate feet, part of the Peppermint family with Captain York. And her sister just kept looking at it and looking at it, and there was such longing as I began to tell, people gathered around, and I was telling them about the sun bunny and what it represented and what it meant. And you could see the longing in her sister's eyes. And I said to Hannah, would you like a bunny? And she said, I would love a bunny. So I said, good. What color would you like? She said, blue. So she gets the blue bunny. What did I do with it? This is the one. She gets this blue bunny. And I'm working on the head right now. But if you remember those feet, those are the feet that we started on last Sunday when I showed you the foot. All right, I'm going to stop here and put in a stitch marker so I don't lose my stitch. But I can show you how this is coming out. Very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Now, I suppose if you wanted to, when you came up to the top and you got in between here, you could do a little picot if you wanted to. It's a nice thing about crochet is you can adapt it to be anything that you want. Look at that color difference. Ombre, gradient, whatever you want to call it. I love it. All right, and that is what we have for today. Now, you guys come back on Sunday and we're going to do a body, a bunny body, which is a universal body. And you can use it for a cat or a dog or a monkey or a goat. I showed you I'm doing a goat too because Adelaide's boyfriend wants a goat. So I'm doing him a goat. I can't help it that I love people and I love to make people happy, and it makes me happy. You always do the head first. Leanie, I usually do the feet first, and then I do the bottom, and then I do the ears, and then I do the head last. I don't know why, but I think that's just the way I learned, and that's just the way I do it. All right, let's get out the book. And the first one I see on here is And this is 9-3 is KK. And she has a praise for all of your prayers that you've been praying for her over the last several months. She is greatly appreciative. And as usual, even though we can't see what's around the corner, God knows. And He works it all out for good. Leni says prayers to all who need. Anyone else have a praise or a prayer need? We need to keep praying for Pebbles. If nothing else, for this new aide, that she and the new aide will be able to get along well. We need to pray for Kimji, an unspoken. If you would, I request your prayers for Michelle, plays hooky, an unspoken. That woman never says anything and she's always smiling, but she does need some prayers. Yep, you can hear my kitty. She wants in my lap. What do you want? What? Really? She's hungry again. And Mimi is asking for an unspoken. And Gracie, as usual, says prayers for all in need. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up, and I will see you on Sunday. And until then, may God hold you in the palm of His hand and keep you safe until I see you again on Sunday. I love you all so long ago. I was reading Kim's chat. May God keep you in His hand until we meet again. I love you all, and goodbye.